All right, hello everybody, and welcome to my little corner of the internet here. I've actually set everything up here, kind of quick and dirty in my living room. I love my workshop out in the garage, but one of my heaters kind of died, and it's cold outside right now. It's the middle of winter. I live in Ohio, so I'll let your imagination trail there on the weather situation outside. We're about 6 weeks away from spring, so in Ohio, that means we have 8 different seasons outside. It could be snowy, rainy, sunny. It's supposed to get up into the mid-50s this coming week, so who knows, man. It's like if you're going to get sick in Ohio, it's going to be like the fall or springtime, especially if you're an adult with a built immune system. I can't really speak for kids because they get sick all year round. So, but anyhow, so here we are. In my living room. For anybody that's seen any of my videos on my channel, a few months back I had to replace the unit that I was using for television in my son's room. My son Aiden was using it was an all-in-one computer. It's an old HP. He was using that primarily for TV, and it just got too old at some point. It couldn't, even though it had a 1080p touchscreen, the touchscreen quit working months before it did, and it just was a bad unit. So I ordered a mini PC from Beelink. It was the Beelink Mini S, and we were super impressed with that little unit, especially being able to do all kinds of cloud gaming, and it's been running Paramount Plus just fine. SpongeBobbing it up every night. So I know the computer is more capable than that. And a lot of people might say, oh, get a smart TV. This is something that I actually have been wanting to bring up for a few weeks now. And especially from anybody that's here locally that knows me personally. You guys really got to be careful buying TVs at Walmart. Now hear me out. Like, I get it. It's convenient. It's Walmart. You go there. If you guys remember back, about 10 years ago, even back in 2013, if you consider the cost of a 32-inch TV is around $100. And the thing about that is, they're more than that now. How is that possible? It's the same size. Well, in whoever's infinite wisdom, they've decided now that first what they did was they made smart TVs, but only higher up. So they made it like this coveted thing where like you wanted to have a smart TV because you saw people with smart TVs. And here's the thing though, because of that, it's actually allowed them to roll back on the technology of the actual display and then charge you guys more money for what is essentially a worse display device. I know it sounds like I'm just talking out the side of my neck, but I promise you that is not the case. I'm going to try to turn my mic down just a little bit here. It looks like I'm clipping a little bit. If I am, I apologize, you guys. I'm not trying to clip the mic. But anyways, so here's what I mean by that. If you go to Walmart and you go get your little shopping cart together and you go back to the electronics section and you look for the first 32-incher you can buy, which is, they'll sometimes have smaller ones, but they'll either be close to where the computer monitors are, or Walmart has a lot of sneaky ways of making sure that you're like led into what they want you to buy. Anyways, so you get to the 32-inch TVs and chat is disabled for this live stream? Why does it say that? I guess I'll have to get it on my phone, you guys. If somebody messages, I can't see it. One sec. Okay, here's my phone. Okay, we'll get on the old YouTube. Oh, I'm not signed in on this phone. Oh, turds. Hold on, you guys. Technical difficulties here. Okay. I'm here now. Okay. And we'll get on mute. Chat disabled? Why does it say chat disabled? It says chat disabled here too. I don't... Hold on, y'all. That must have been something I did in the... I don't know how in the heck that was possible. I've never done that before. I don't want to stop the stream, but... Man. Hold on. Okay. I'm live right now. Why can't I? Oh my God, Google. I'm sorry, you guys. I really, really am. I have no idea what is going on here. Made for kids. What? Something right here. This has to be something to do with OBS. Hold on. Man. It says made for... No, it's not made for kids. Okay, now... Can we chat now? This has to... There we go. Yep, it was definitely something related to OBS. Or when I went in there to originally make the live stream, you guys, it apparently... wonder how do I get it to refresh now, though. Put HI and then hit enter. But it's not showing up in here. There we go. Okay. Catastrophe averted. Okay, sorry for that. Gosh, I'm so glad I can cut those things out. This is why I don't live stream that much. I don't have a lot of extra space. I have a lot of crap laying around generally. It's just kind of the nature of the beast when you work 12 hours a day. Until I get my own house and can actually start building some of this storage and shelving and stuff into the walls and whatnot, and then actually start to sell and get rid of some of this stuff. I have quite a bit of stuff that I just keep a hold of, just because you never know you might need it. You know, Mr. Pack Rat. You know, I'm sure you guys can all relate. Anyways, where was my thought train before all this started? So, 32-inch televisions. They were down to like $99. They made them smart. Now they're like $120. And you're like, well, inflation or whatever. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't talk to me about inflation. If you go get a box TV from 10 years ago, it would be probably a 1080p TV. I could almost bet money on it. That'd be a 1080p television. Now, you go get a 32-inch TV of pretty much any of them at Walmart especially, and they're going to be 720p, which is like, they're like pump faking you because they tell you it's an HD TV, which it technically, I guess, is, if you can really even consider 1280 wide to be HD. I mean, I guess when it originally came out, that was that, because that's what people don't understand about HD. There's HD, there's full HD, there's QHD, there's UHD, it's not all the same. So what they did basically was halve the resolution of the display, which made it way cheaper for them. And the cost to put the chip in that makes it smart is like marginal. There's already a chip in a display driving it anyway. So like all they needed to do was figure out a way to replace that central chip with an SoC, and bam, there you go. And like, So what I'm saying is it didn't drive up the cost of the display for the manufacturer. You see what I'm saying? So like they're not paying that much more to produce a worse TV that is now smart and then sell it to you for more, making more profit for them. Because see, what they did was they hit everybody with this dopamine shot when they first brought the smart TVs in and made everybody want one. So my whole preface for that whole conversation is over here I have this the next he's plugged into the TV and the camera's set at a set focus point right now, and I don't have camera operator, so but you can get on the Googles. It's in the thumbnail for the live stream. The actual device, it's pretty much the exact same dimensions as the last unit I took a look at, which was the Beelink Mini S. Now this is the SER5 or the SER5. I'm not really sure what the pronunciation is really supposed to be. It's Beelink. It's manufactured in Shenzhen, like a lot of things, so it's hard to tell if it's one company. Is it a conglomerate of different companies? I really wish, hopefully, as sometime in the future, if Techia had enough money, I would like to actually get a hold of the, because they're probably paying a manufacturer and just slapping their logo and everything on there. So who knows, you guys? If we keep at it, I know Linus and a lot of other YouTubers kind of stay away from like the whole like SI and pre-built space. And while I respect that, making a little machinery unit like this, you know, something that you could go pick up at a micro center and just use instead of overpriced Raspberry Pi right now, because you can't get one of those. I mean, if you are lucky enough to get like an 8 gigabyte Pi, I've seen them as high as 250, which is ridiculous for a Raspberry Pi. This little unit, when it goes on sale, is like $319 for this computer that we got plugged in here today. So a few things to note. This unit over the Mini S that I took a look at, the Mini S was only a quad core, and it's a Celeron N5095. It's a good little unit. I would get it over like a quad core 6th gen, like a Skylake, a 6500T or something like that. They do have those little 1 liter PCs with the 6500T in them. And while that quad core is going to have a few of the other creature comforts as far as like AVX and other certain things that are special to the processor, but the thing of it is the GPU on there is still from the 6000 series Intel. So because of that, the GPU on that little Celeron, if you get the 5105 for $139.99, that one's got the 24. Yeah, it's got the 24. I can't remember what Intel calls their shader or execution units. It's got 24 execution units on there on the CPU. So even though it's a quad core Celeron, when it comes to like graphics and video playback and stuff, it's a quad core. It's 3 gigahertz boost, and for a little surfboard machine and watching videos and stuff, man, that's kick butt. But anyways, this here is the big brother to that unit. So we're looking at, we got a Ryzen 5 5560U. It's got 6 cores, 12 threads. It is the U variant, so it is, I think they said like 15 watts or something. It does have a 25 watt mode, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. I've underfolded it just a tad bit and overclocked it just a wee bit. And I don't know if it's just the Beelinks per se or this unit in particular, but I've been able to pull about 50 watts out of it, and it's never gotten any hotter than 65 degrees. So, you know what I mean? Like, I would be more concerned if it had ever gotten near thermal throttle or anywhere near 90 degrees, but I've had WoW running on this thing for like 4 hours straight, and it was regularly pulling like 40 to 45 watts from the wall. Or that's not even from the wall, sorry, that's CPU and GPU combined. At first I was concerned maybe they were the same number and I was making that number bigger in my head, but they are two different values if we take a look. So these are all things that I'll get into in my deep dive. My last Beelink video has been my most successful video on my channel, so you can definitely bet that I'm going to be taking a look at this one and doing a video about it. So definitely stay tuned to the channel for that. So my whole reason for actually getting on here today and getting on a live stream in the first place was so we can just take a look at this thing, man, and get some like unedited impressions on this machine. I know Penny, this is her normal spot, you guys. She likes to hang out right here behind me. And then we got Bub over there, and Bub can come and help too if we need him to. He might have to come and help me switch some of these games and stuff around, so that way I don't have to get up. But, so without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it here. We'll go ahead and switch over to our view here. All right, and here it is, you guys. We'll get on to all the basics here. We'll take a look into Task Manager. All right, there it is in all of its glory. Now I have this going through the EVGA XR1 Pro. If you guys saw the last video on my channel, it is the capture card of choice for me because it works flawlessly with OBS and records up to 4K. Which, if we take a look, even though you guys are seeing this in 1080p, the magic of the internet, etc., etc. But anyways, as we can see right here, 3840 by 2160 is the resolution that we have right now. Now, I will note before I go any further here that this is an iGPU and it is not the newer RDNA 2 variant. So it is the 6 core, whatever they're calling their, we'll just call them execution units, just to keep everything similar. I guess NVIDIA's would call them ROPs or ROPs or whatever you want to call it. There's so much technical jargon that goes into this crap, so it's hard to compare them except for the results. That's why we end up roping a lot of this stuff in together. Okay, sorry, I couldn't see my mic bar. Made me think you guys couldn't hear me. I wouldn't want anybody to miss out on the drone of my Ben Stiller voice. All right. Anyways, so this little thing, man, the BIOS, actually, like a lot of BIOSes, especially, you know, if you're into the DIY scene, there's a lot of DIY motherboards that have pretty good, robust BIOS systems. But usually when you get like a unit that you just buy that's contained, that you don't have to do anything to, you just plug it in, put it in a monitor, plug a mouse and keyboard into it, and off to the races you go. Typically, on those kind of units, a lot of the BIOS options and the overall control of the actual system itself is very, very locked down and very walled, if it's there at all. Usually a lot of the options and stuff like that have been stripped out of the operating system entirely. It's unfortunate because sometimes it only takes a little bit of tweaking to get the desired effect, especially on some of the more modern stuff. Because a lot of the times you're not even really pushing it really to the limit of where it shouldn't be at. A lot of the times to get like the best performance and efficiency. And it's not always true for both AMD and Intel, but at least for AMD in the 5000 series, which is what we have here, even though it is the U variant, is we seem to pick up a lot more, not a lot more, we pick up a little bit more better performance, but at a way better efficiency by giving it a little bit of undervolt. So, if we can see down here in the corner, I do have AMD APU tuning utility going. It seems like the silliest overclock what I have done here, but there it is. And once we get hardware info and RTSS, oh goodness, sorry guys, I don't mean to keep burping into the mic. Anyways, once you get RTSS up and running, get statistics server and all that jazz, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and load up World of Warcraft because it's what I have installed right now. It's the easiest thing for me to get into quickly. Alright, we got our sensors here. I don't know why they're all weird like that. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and get RTSS up here. Okie dokie, Smoky Pinocchio. Alright, here we go. This was perhaps one of the most impressive things for me. Bub, can you turn that down a little bit, please? Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Anyways, so, you know, the idea of being able to pick up a little $300 WoW machine, especially because, like, if you think about where World of Warcraft is right now, oh, I did not think about the sound, you guys. Hold on a second here. Okay. Turn off that background music. We'll go ahead and let the game sound through. I forgot about the HDMI capture there, you guys. I apologize. I have the displays mirrored, so I didn't expect audio to also come through. But I guess that's what I get for being a silly dummy. So, anyways, the state of where World of Warcraft is right now, as far as an online MMO game goes, I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. But there's a lot of people that are into MMOs, and this game, especially right now, with all the changes they made to crafting and the dragon riding, and there's so much stuff to do in this game. What I'm trying to say is you don't necessarily have to get in and like do an end game raid with 25 people in your group with all the particle effects and stuff going on your screen. It's those instances that when like people want to know like how it performs in this game, they're not like asking, you know, what it's like to be just going through and questing, because there are a lot of computers that will just run this game, right? It's been out since 2004. It's not rocket science. Like, it's been revamped and reiterated on, but it's actually one of the reasons why they've kept the graphics and everything on this game so cartoony for so long. And that's because, like, one, it's solidified into pop culture, right? This Warcraft aesthetic, but it's more than that. You know what I mean? It's 30 years. It's not 30, Blizzard, 30 years into Warcraft, if you think about it, like, because I'm not talking about just World of Warcraft. But anyways, there's so much stuff to do. I do want to try to do some 5-mans and stuff, so I might actually try to do one of those when I'm on stream. I don't know if we're going to do that today. It requires a lot of me checking the screen and everything and making sure that all of the values and everything are okay. Now, one of the things I am noticing is that we are clipped up here a little bit on that frame time counter here. So we go ahead and open the RTSS settings here. Oh, can I make the window bigger? I guess not. Old 4K resolution, you guys. I can barely see this. Okay. I'm try to drag him down just a wee little. And over just a little more. There we go. Alright. Menu. Okay. 1920 by 1080. Render scales at 50%. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that either. I guess I can tilt the render scale down. But you know, on my other computer monitor, I had it set at like, I think it was 1650 by 1030. It's like one of the weird Acer monitor settings, and I was getting really good performance out of it. So for now, we're gonna do that. We're gonna have VSync disabled, low latency modes on, which is fine. Okay, so we're still at the number 3 setting, but I have liquid detail set to low. I really don't care if it looks like wobbly plastic on the ground. I mean, yeah, it's cool that it looks like somewhat like real water. You know, oh, that's water, but if you've been playing video games long enough, which I know is not everybody, there are people that are a lot younger than me that maybe have not seen crappy water or what water used to look like in video games. But hey, there you go. Okay, so a lot of stuff is low, disabled, 3 settings everywhere, pretty much across the board. This was at 16x. I went ahead and set it to 8x. So we have Fidelity FX and all that stuff running. So we have all the AMD FSR now. The thing that I'm most curious about when it comes to AMD FSR is I know that I do believe super resolution is at 2.0 now, but it only says 1.0 in these settings, so there may be a way to also further improve upon this, is what I'm saying. I have it set to this awkward FPS. That's because I know 60, it might dip down to 58, 55 or something like that. Basically what that's saying is if the frame rate dips below that point, then you can go ahead and dip that render scale down to try and keep it at 50 FPS. Now, 50 is not 60, I realize that. I'm just trying to give it its best chance. If it's running like solid 50 and we're not getting any fluctuations at all, then that's actually decent. That's a decent time. Like if your 1% lows are still up there and they're not bad shape, then you're not going to have a lot of hitching. And that's usually where you feel like, oh, this computer sucks at this game. But anyways, there's my settings. So I think we're good. I think we're good to go here. Now, I don't have any add-ons right now. I know we're quick and dirty. I just slapped it on here. I don't want to dilute anything any further by trying to make this work any more than it realistically needs to. So we'll go ahead and get on my Rogue. And there we go. Look. Look at that wattage. It's awesome. We are graphics GPU core powers here. We're at 20. We're at 20 watts there. They're different values. So, you know, these are not the same. So if we calculate that right now, it's about 40 watts. So, I mean, that's just awesome for this. Look, 60. I thought maybe we'd have to turn it down, man, back down to the 1650 by 1030 or what have you. But this, man, even with a couple dips down to 55 or whatever, even if it dips down into the mid 40s, realistically for a game like this, it's going to be fine, man. And there's going to have to be a lot going on the screen for that. But what I've also noticed about this game in particular, I don't know why my zoom controls are not working. Goodness gracious. Key bindings, defaults, these settings, close, return to game. There we go. Alright. But look, if I'm zoomed in, like say if I'm in an indoor space like this, see how our frame rates even went up above 60 now, or in the 70s even. See that? 90, 91. So as I said, it just really depends on what you're doing. Now, right now, I'm playing on a television, so realistically, I actually think I have less input lag looking over at my laptop screen while this is going on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at my laptop screen, and that to me is turning before I'm turning on my television. So, I mean, it's also the pass-through signal. This is why when you see people doing videos, especially of like these little computers and stuff, and instead of getting like a screen record out of it, even through a capture card, why you see them where they just have it plugged into a monitor, a TV or something, and then they do like an artistic shot on the screen. And what I've found in the last few weeks is the reason for that is it's just really, really hard to get those kind of results directly out of the capture card and play on it at the same time if you're going to be doing like a lifestyle commentary. So you're either going to capture it and look only at the pass-through, and preferably on something with less input lag than my old LG TV here. So the LG TV is 4K though, so that's how we're going to be able to test that. I will take this up to 4K resolution just so we can get a feel for it, see what it looks like. But as it stands right now, man, kind of want to do my favorite thing in the game right now. If you see that down there, I haven't messed with my UI at all. One of the things I can tell you about World of Warcraft's new UI is that I like that you can like do all this configuration with it and stuff. The more WoW gets to the less relying on add-ons, and I know people are going to hate me for this because people love their add-ons. Aiden. Anyways, the scaling, man. The less WoW relies on add-ons, just better. Sorry, you guys. I mean, like, WoW comes up with an update, they release new content, the add-ons break, then you're in this like weird voided area where you gotta re-download the new thing. It's like at this point, WoW Matrix used to be a thing. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but that was like one easy way to keep all of your add-ons updated. I guess you have Curse or whatever, but I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about CurseForge. I just don't like their software, so I've never installed it. I can't really speak to if it's good or bad, or maybe I ought to take a look at it sometime. You guys give me opinions on it, please, because there are obviously things that I've never tried to do. So I just prefer to either stay on top of it myself or just not use an add-on. So like DBM and a few of the ones that you like have to have, then sure. But anyways, the scaling on the new UI system in WoW right now, it allows you to scale up above 100%, but not below. And I don't think that's a good design at all. I need to be able to take it smaller than 100%. This is what it's saying is 100%. And that's fine or whatever, but realistically, I don't need the buttons to be that big and taking up this much of my screen. I want to take everything down really smaller, but this is also a mix of issues. So remember back to the beginning of the stream there when I brought up the screen for the display settings. So your display settings we have set to 4K, right? But if you notice, we also have our scaling set up to 200%. Now, that's messing with us in this game. So even though I have the graphic settings turned to that 1920 by 1080p, because I have scaling options set in Windows, it's messing with this. It thinks that is 100% because I have everything set to 200%. It's a weird crossover issue. I'm sure if anybody from Blizzard, if I was important enough or popular enough for people to actually be watching this more, that's something maybe they could address. But it's definitely an issue with Windows scaling, the resolution options, and since I'm trying to get a good capture for this live stream, I really don't want to mess with that too much. So anyways, back to what I was saying, that my favorite thing in the game right now is dragon riding. And that's just because, I mean, I have dragons tattooed all over my arm for anybody that's ever seen them. So it's like, what am I going to tell you? I don't like dragons. But this is just so much fun, man. Especially if you go and get your dragon riding maxed out and you get all the glyphs. It's just a ton of fun, man. Let's see, we're still, you know, we got some dips below 60, but it's like, whatever, man. This feels great. You're on your dragon, you're cruising. You get one of these little mini computers and you just, you know, you plug it in behind your TV. You forget it's even there for real. And the other really neat thing is if you already have a gaming PC, like a really nice unit with a GPU in there, what you can do is just parsec to that unit. So you can keep your nice big gaming tower in your bedroom or at your desk or whatever. And if you've ever wanted to be able to still have that power at other places, even when you're not home, because like internet connections now, especially if you get Frontier Fiber or anything like that, if you have Frontier Fiber like I do, if you have the 1 gig or the 5 gig, or it's so ridiculous, the 2 gig, even the 500, honestly, because it's fiber and they are synchronous and they both have the same upload and download speed. Because of that, if you use something like Parsec, you're going to get full speed, basically. It's going to be like having an Ethernet connection to your house, basically. So if you're somewhere else in the world and they have at least like a 35 megabit downstream and you have this little computer, bam, there you go. You know what I mean? Like you can literally plug it in, parsec to your big gaming machine at home, and there you go. You're using all the power of your gaming machine still halfway across the country or the state or the city or whatever. You know what I mean? Country might be a little much for input latency. There are limitations to these things, but the faster the internet connection where you are, the better chances of that happening. So like if you're in another location with fiber internet, even if you are all the way across the country, you might add another millisecond or two, and Parsec is already really fast. So I don't have to educate the educated on Parsec, but it is something that we will be taking a look at here in a few future videos, especially because of that use case in particular. If you watch Linus Tech Tips, he's handled that problem by using optical Thunderbolt cables as well as or optical DisplayPort. Is it DisplayPort? DisplayPort, optical DisplayPort cables, and Thunderbolt over fiber, I think, or USB over fiber. Not really sure. But all I know is he does have a solution where his gaming power and server machine and stuff running Home Assistant is in like a room where it makes sense, where it can heat up and have proper ventilation and isn't disturbing the people in the room. And then he just has a little thin client box that he plugs his mouse, keyboard, and display into, and there you go. So that's a really good use case for something like this. And it's something that I actually have been wanting to do for the little family here. So when I actually get parts to upgrade Bub's machine from the Ryzen 2600, we can do that. We can upgrade him and me and the wife and all have the gaming components inside a server blade or inside a 4U chassis somewhere where it can stay, preferably where I can control the conditions real well, but where all the noise and the heat it kicks out is no problem. So, anyways, this is all about the Beelink Mini S, though. You guys see the frame rate? I mean, I know I'm just sitting here, but it is quite ridiculous. Oh, that dragon riding just feels so good, especially when you're on a big TV like this. Oh yeah, we like going in between and under bridges. So much fun. Sorry, Those little jerky motions are from my mouse being on the coffee table and not being on a proper mouse pad. You guys, hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Look at that, 90 FPS on this $300 machine. So good. I'm gonna stab something. Hopefully not die. I don't even have my poisons on. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, and there's his daughter. She's coming down the stairs. Penny loves my daughter Chloe so much. She's like obsessed with her. So anytime that she comes out of her room, I get to know about it because the puppy dog lets us know. Hi, Chloe. 95 of us. Yeah, if I attack any of these, I'm gonna have to take out all their little friends too. There we go. Oh, that's right. I reset all my keybinds. Whoopsie. I'm like, what is going on? Why am I not throwing out my black powder bomb thing? Wow. We're up over 100 FPS now. See, I'm glad I wasn't imagining things. So it seems like after it's had a chance to run and settle in a bit, then we start to see even better performance out of it, which is like ridiculous. That's like not the normal course for how things operate normally, but it's a happy surprise in this case, you guys, because I imagine, especially if you put it on an actual computer monitor, this is going to feel... See how big that is? That's what I'm talking about, the scaling. Do you see how big the skinning icon was? It's definitely not supposed to be that big. But those are side effects from the Windows scaling options. So it is something to be aware of. If you ever plug into a TV, just go ahead and set it to 100% scaling. It does kind of suck and make it hard to read text and stuff, but if you're going to get into games and stuff, you'll be thanking yourself that you didn't turn them on, because you'll come into issues like that. And like this here is also distracting me a lot. But if I make it any smaller, see, because of these scaling options, it's taken up so much of my screen, and I can't set it any lower. You guys see, if I hit, it thinks it's as big as it can get. Oh, I can go lower with these ones. Well, that's good. Let's do that. Yeah, 70%. Let's do that. Say, I know a lot of these other pads were only letting me go down like... Why are they not snapping? Where's the snap setting? Do you see it up there, Chloe?
Snap?
Icon snapping. There it is. It says snap right there. Okay. It doesn't seem like it's snapping though.
Hey, Dad, look.
I guess.
I'm holding the scaredy cat.
The scaredy cat's letting you hold him, huh?
He's sitting there.
Yeah, see, like this here, the player frame. I can't, because of these weird scaling options. It won't let me take that down any farther. Same thing, like the quest pane will let me take the height down, but like nothing else. Let's see if I'm just BSing myself. Yeah, see, it'll let me take the height down, but nothing else. So I'm still going to end up installing Xpearl or Zpearl or whatever it's called now. I know a lot of people probably use Voodoo or something else, but honestly, man, Z Pearl has like the best options, and if you spend the time to set it up, it's not like so out of the box, right? But if you set up all your healing ranges and your percentage warnings, and like there's so much, but it's so good, and you're not allowed to be lazy. That's the thing. It's not like Voodoo or some of those other UI mods where you get like all the handy right-click casting and all that stuff. No, 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 no. You still have to do your job. You can't like add things to the game that weren't meant to be. You know what I mean? Like tomato, tomato. It's the same thing with like macros, right? You either love them or you hate them. I don't really care. I'd prefer to play the game without them. But it happens. See that? That's 100% Windows scaling options. So, anyways, I want to go ahead and get off. Wow, we've checked it out. So. All right. So up next, what do we got? We'll go ahead and run this benchmark and kind of show you one of the funny things about this unit here, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and run the Valley benchmark. It's a little bit newer than the Unigen Heaven benchmark, and that was kind of on purpose. It's originally one of the things that worried me about the unit at first, at least when it comes to its gaming performance, and that's because I plugged it in and I ran this test, obviously, and I got like 7 or 8 FPS. Now, granted, it's like trying to push the most of the most when it comes to graphical settings, but I figured I would get better than 7 because I know Vega GPUs are okay. I know they're not the best, but this is the newer Radeon 6 variant. So I was hoping, especially with the Ryzen 5000. But anyways, it still runs though. So, but you know, you see this and you're like, uh-oh, you know, it's not running right. And but you still have to let it run all the way through to get your scores, and the scores were still okay. So I mean, at the end of the day, it must be pushing it okay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera and the sound off and let this run for just a minute, and then I will get back with you guys as soon as it is finished. And there we have it. We have another kitty and a bub with us now as well. While we're spending the Saturday, pretty much this. You see it, guys, is we're a computer family. If one of us isn't on a computer, then something's probably not right. Or we're somewhere else. You know, it's like if we're somewhere where we can't be on a computer, but if we're like somewhere where there is a computer, you better believe we're on it. This is period.
Yeah, but
If you don't have a computer, skill issue.
Right. Alright, let's get out of here because it's starting to make me feel queasy.
It's doing a
Oh, look at that. 2,000 FPS. If only, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you guys all doing?
okay, wants to go.
Hopefully Oreo won't be like so skittish around me now. Now that he's like cuddled up to me like 4 times.
You keep trying, kiddo. Hopefully you can break through. He's still skittish to me.
I've been trying.
He like knows me.
I've been trying to befriend him.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and let 3D Mark run just because, you know, we got a score of 401 on the Valley benchmark, which, you know, right now at this point, that really doesn't give me a whole lot of information other than my years of experience as a computer technician, and it still went through without crashing, so it lets me know I can play quite a few games, medium to low settings.
Going monsters.
Yeah, go ahead. Alright, we'll go ahead and run TimeSpy here. And TimeSpy is kind of a similar situation to the last benchmark we just ran. So, you know, kind of choppy, lower FPS, but especially the single core score that we get at the end, super promising. Alright. We have been time spied. Oh, now it says graphics test 1. What is it? Going back through and doing it again? How many times does this run? Do we know? Oh, now it's actually giving me stats up there this time. See that? They're not very big. Huh, strange. So it ran it once, and then it's now running it again. I guess I've not ever ran time spy. It's a good thing that I always know that people use this when they're doing benchmarks of these systems, and I really should, I guess, write some of this down. And I guess I already did. I do have a spreadsheet with some of this information already started in it, but you know, it's very peculiar to me, I guess. Some of the nuances here. You know, did it run it the first time? Just like with WoW, as we saw, after we were in the game for a minute or so, after it's had a chance to settle in, seems like it picked up just a wee little bit more performance. And so, I don't know, maybe that's a thing, maybe it's not a thing. Hold on a second. Okay, there we have it. We got, what do we got here? We got an overall score of 1106, which it says it's good. And then graphics score is 975, which we were kind of expecting, right? We have that Radeon 6 in there, and even though it's not the most powerful thing in the whole wide world, that CPU score, though, that 4735, that's, oh, not in the frame, that's the kicker, right? 4735, $300, it's really a really good deal. Awesome. Clock frequency. So I've noticed that the GPU frequency likes to go down to that 400 megahertz. I don't know if that's like when it happens to be loading in and out of memory, because you see right here at the beginning of graphics test 1 and graphics test 2, it made those dips again down to the 400 megahertz. So I almost wonder if that's the deal, like while it's running stuff into and out of memory. Because see, remember it did that first long initial test, and we have 3 long dips down here. So I almost wonder if that's when the memory on the board is being accessed, it is dropping that frequency down, because 400 is a number that I see really, really frequently. 400 or 200. So it just makes me wonder. Anyways, if we see our frequency graph up there for the CPU, though, pretty much solid 4 gigahertz throughout the whole test, which is just amazing. 6 cores, 12 threads, 4 gigahertz, $300. That's just ridiculous. I mean, it's not always this cheap. Sometimes when it's not on sale, it's like $379.99. So after tax, you're looking at like $410 or something like that, and that's still not a bad price at all. You know what I mean? For what you're getting, not a bad price. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and write these down here. This was 3D Mark. Okay. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I do want to save these. Only in advance edition. Well, you know how we deal with that, don't you? Benchmark tessellation load modify. Aiden, please no. Thank you. All right. So, whatever that's supposed to mean, benchmark tessellation load. If it's something that was modified by a load, I don't know if that's implying FSR or something, but I think we're going to go ahead and pull out our snipping tool. Here we go. And we're going to hit new. There we go. And then what we're going to do is just save this guy right here like this. Sheboygan. All right. We'll save the old screen in there. We'll go ahead and hit new after we scroll down. Do I need any of that info at all? The detailed scores section, maybe. We'll get these temperature graphs here as well. Okay, I'll save this guy. Okay, so what do we have here? Yeah, see, look at our temps, man. Just the best. CPU slightly higher than the GPU, but that's kind of to be expected. They're both on the same package, right? So GPU got up to, let's see here, at its highest point, 72 degrees. And because of weird stuff. What does that look like? Our highest point on the CPU, if it would let me see that score instead of being stupid. Around 80 degrees. It's like 77 or something like that. 77 degrees Celsius. Still far from thermal throttle limit. And my puppy dog wants me to let her out. So before we get to the next test and everything, I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll take a short break here. Okay, and we're back. Now, before I get into the next bench here, I don't know why Steam decided it was going to open itself, but okay. Anyhow, the only one I really have left here to do is user benchmark. I know there are other ones out there. I also have Geekbench, which we can run. I haven't seen anything come through into the chat box or anything. I'll pop over here real quick to the studio to see if we have any comments in the comment section, but not at this point. So the best thing I could say especially in the future, if you ever catch me on one of these streams, I'm going to try and do this more often, especially since I have such a nice setup to be able to do it right here in the comfort of my living room. Look forward to more tests in the future. We got a server blade that I just got at work on Friday. We got in the mail, so that's a 20-core, 40-thread, dual Xeon 2660 V3, 64 gigs of RAM, behemoth blade server monster. So I'm still in the process of getting TrueNAS put on it, and what else besides the TrueNAS? Getting all my VMs and stuff set up. So effectively, at least for my job at work, I'm going to be setting up that blade as it's going to be running a load balancer, DNS, a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to try to get a bunch of content throughout that process too. That way I can show a bunch of people what it's like to set up a server blade, because I know that's something that not a lot of people have done, even myself haven't done super often in my life, which for people that know me personally, there are reasons for that. And if you want to know what those reasons are, please continue to watch my channel, because I'm going to do a video, like a draw my life type style video is what I kind of want to do, if I'm being completely honest. But those take a lot of time to do. So, but luckily, one of the hurdles to that, my daughter might have solved for me. So I'll find out tomorrow when we go to her house. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this next benchmark here. I'm going to go ahead and run user bench. And we're off. It's kind of jarring for it to load in full screen and then you click it to start and it goes not full screen. It's kind of stupid, but sure, why not? Yeah, I don't even want to take it like full screen now, because why? What's the point? What if I want to do something else while it's running? Okay. I think our peak wattage on the last run there was around 43, 44 watts, which isn't bad. So now this is actually, I think, one of the very first benchmarks I ran. I did this one way before 3D Mark, and especially with it giving me numbers like it was there for a little bit, like 7 or whatever, when I was doing some of the physics benchmarking. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to play any games on it, but obviously that ended up not being the case. So, I lost video. Oh, okay, I'm like, what? That was weird. I lost video on the capture card for a hot second, but it's back now. Very strange. Very, very strange. Alright. It's finishing up now. I really don't care to do the little shooty game thing here. That's weird. Missing GPU. Yeah, but now it says I have an incomplete test. That never happened to me before. I had a desktop was 88% percentile, gaming was like 30, and workstation was also somewhere around there. Isn't that strange? It's basically saying that I have a, there's a, 81.4%, but it just didn't, didn't make it up here. It says below 40th percentile, and that's likely because of my GPU, but it's still 71%. Oh, it's memory. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me how it's all the way up here on both tests, but a lot more systems. So I guess there's still some more tuning and tweaking that I can do, but honestly, this is one of those user bench, especially I don't know who maintains it, man. Just some parts of it, especially this, seems a little wonky to me. So it's not really giving us tangible numbers. I don't like percents are okay in some contexts, but not in a benchmarking situation. You want finite numbers because that gives you a definite answer, especially when it comes to comparing it to something else. So I believe the only thing we have left for benchmarks is Geekbench 5. And the thing I like about Geekbench is it runs on everything. So this gives you good context to compare it against things like phones and tablets and just everything. So because this will run on M1 and M2 MacBooks, so even cross between x86 and ARM, so like just compute devices in general. A lot of them, just about all of them. I think the only operating system that Geekbench doesn't run on right out of the box might be FreeBSD, but don't quote me on that. It might run on there as well. So, all right, I'm gonna let that run, and I'm gonna go let the puppy dog in real quick. Alright, we have a puppy dog that's been potty now. All's well. Right? If only you guys could have saw that. She's like, what, me? What are you talking about? Oh, you're gonna go over there, knock everything down. Come on. Well, come on. Oh, she's getting me. Oh, she's a big boy. Dude. Penny, everybody. Picks on everybody. Yeah, you gotta pick on her because she picks on everybody. What? All right, 1323 single core. Yeah, that's sweet. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure like the 12900K or whatever has got a single core support of like 15 or 1800 or something like that. So like 1323 off a little $300 machine like this. You know what I mean? Like, especially if that's your budget, man, for this little machine, you're not going to go without. I'd get this over a little crappy laptop for sure. You know what I mean? Especially it's like the things that we're doing here is what you care about in particular. So a few things that I can't really bring up on screen for legal reasons, a lot of emulator stuff, Nintendo stuff in particular. So far, I've been all the way up to a little bit of Wii U emulation. I will have a few snippets in the long form video. It's nothing that I can really put here though, because we really have to make sure that these things are in a fair use context, because Nintendo, when it comes to copyright anything, they're just the worst. So I've done my due diligence by spending the last 10 years being pegged to a screen watching YouTube videos, so I know what creators deal with, and I know what companies deal with too. That's why it's so hard for people, for certain systems especially, to get a hold of ROMs and other software to help with emulation. And that's because these companies know, yes, they're 30, 40, 50 years old, some of these games, but they don't care. They don't want anybody to be able to monetize off of their IP, which you could be on one side of that argument or the other, but you know, it's kind of a lot of time wasted. A lot of people spend a lot of hours coding these things, and for them to just be lost because people couldn't agree on money, that's just, it seems like a loss, just like overall, right? That we can't just enjoy these things at a certain point after they've been around for a lot long. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You know, especially Nintendo. Some of these other companies have kind of, you know, opened the door for at least some of these developers to be able to build like little Android systems or other things around and be, you know, like the little classic systems and stuff like that. Those are partnerships. You know what I mean? Nintendo didn't make that. Sega didn't make that thing. They endorsed it and they had it built. But anyways, let's get into a bunch of legal stuff, and that's not the time nor the place. But anyways, look how many tabs we got open here. This is like so ridiculous. We got 10 tabs open. We're playing games. We're loading emulators and stuff, man. There's no stopping this computer. There's not, which is crazy for the price. Especially if, like, you need to recommend something to somebody. Grandma, aunt, mom, dad. You know, obviously, if you know somebody and they want to play, I should try to download Warzone, but it's a 100 gig download, so that's something I should have prepared for way before I tried to do this stream. But I didn't want the day to get too far away from me before I had a chance to actually do this, because that's one thing that I'll do frequently, is stand in my own way and give myself 100 reasons why not to make a video or go out to the garage or set all my equipment up. And that's because it's work. Actually, it seems so easy when we look at these screens, but the work that goes in behind the scenes, it's 110% work. So anybody that thinks YouTubers just like they're just making it easy out there, it's work. It's just a different kind of work, man. I'm sure there's people that make it through easy, or might appear that way, but just, that's not 100% of the story of what you see. You know what I mean? There we go. I went ahead and loaded Black Desert just because anybody that knows this game, overall, it's free to play, which amazing, right? You don't have to pay to play it. It's one of the best action combat RPGs that exist, at least for like online. This game, that's one of the, like, a lot of people don't like it because of like the grind and some of the pay to win aspects, because it is free to play. But as far as like gameplay mechanics go, this game is super solid. Alright, there's my character, level 1 Boobers. I don't know if I can say that or not, but that's her name. Because I just made a character really quick. Now, Black Desert. No, I don't want any screen shaking effect. Do away with that, please. No, we need to go the other direction. Here you go. Can I just turn it off? Okay. Yep. Now, I have it set to remastered quality for a reason, and that's because you have to turn it to remastered quality in order for you to be able to load it with AMD FSR, which is strange, but... Or I might have just screwed the pooch on that and I did it backwards. Not really sure, you guys. I think I did. I think I screwed it up. Yep, I definitely did. Oh, no, I didn't. Ooh, okay. I'm glad it didn't close on me. But we do need to go here. Oh. Did I just lose the camera? No? Okay. Alright. So, texture quality. High-end graphics. So, where is optimization? No. Where's the AMD FSR settings at? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, there it is. Okay, I already have it set to upscale. So if I turn FSR on, we get almost 40 FPS. Okay. So, but this is at high graphics settings. Now, let's see, if we look, it gets really muddied and kind of blurry. But when you're playing this far back on the television especially, that's not too much of an issue. But I can actually get some better image quality out of this game by changing the settings just a little bit. And then that also allows us to get 60 FPS, which is pretty cool. So if we go in here, go to optimization, we go back to regular upscale, hit apply. Now at first it's going to take us down to like 20 FPS. When we go here, we're going to go ahead and turn texture quality low, and we're going to turn this to lowest optimal and hit apply. And there we go. So even though the texture quality is set to the lowest, which, you know, in theory should look a lot worse than the image we were just looking at, because of how muddied up it was, this actually ends up looking better. So not only does it look better, but it plays better, and we're at 60 FPS, which is ridiculous for this little $300 machine. Just look at that. I mean, yeah, we got textures still loading in, and it's not 100%, right? But I'm playing on a 4K TV. I mean, even on the stream window, that looks better than what it did before. But I'm playing so far back, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, yeah, we could turn it up to 4K, turn all the settings real nice, and that would be cool and everything, but that just makes the game look a little different. It makes it feel a little different. But at the end of the day, if it still runs at 60 FPS, I'm still getting to play the game. I'm still getting to experience what this game has to offer me. I get to go through all of the different chat options and all the stuff. It's very story driven, this game. But yeah, I get a little less graphical fidelity, but 60 FPS, man, you just can't argue with that. Okay. Oh, he's just like telling me what I gotta do next. Okay. Oh, sorry you guys, I did it again, I think. No? There's no sound coming through? Oh, okay, there's the sound. There's just no game sound. Okay, well, I guess it's a good thing that I have some background sound on. Oh. I'm in the live stream, so just be careful. There we go. Be right back with you guys momentarily. My wife just walked in the door. We were not expecting her yet. So, give me just a second here. I'm going to keep playing, though, so you guys keep enjoying the performance. I don't have any headphones in or anything, you guys, so I'm just kind of skipping through a lot of this stuff. I'm not here to do a playthrough, really, so it's not really my intention here. So, you know, I've noticed especially, you know, the anti-aliasing only being 8x, it could be a little better, but it's still plenty sharp enough, really, and that frame rate has been locked a constant 60 the whole time, you guys. I mean, this is really responsive. It's enough to where I'm actually considering playing this game a little bit and checking out some of the features just to see what it's all about. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at this little mini computer with us today. Can't I just get out of the game? What? There. I'm like, what is... Okay. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed checking this little machine out. I'll go ahead and pick it up here so you guys can see it. Obviously, we'll have some good shots of it in the long form video when we go to take an actual review of it. But it's almost the size of the capture card that we're getting the video footage out of. It is just the tiniest little thing. It's not hot. Heck, the capture card is hotter than the actual machine is. So the hottest temperature I saw the entire time was out of the CPU package, and it was still 77 degrees, which is still 13 C away from thermal throttle. So we never thermal throttled. In World of Warcraft, we even got almost 120 FPS. It'll game, it'll emulate, it'll run as a regular computer. This little thing just does it all. So stay tuned to the channel. We're definitely going to be doing some a long form video review on this particular unit. And then also a follow up to my What is Linux video. A lot of people personally have told me I don't think I quite really understand still what Linux is, and that's fine. That's actually kind of the point. Was moreover to start getting into those Linux distributions and actually how to install it and actually how it could help you as an individual, not just like what it is. So stay tuned for that. Look forward to seeing that in the very near future, because there are 600 distributions, so we can actually start getting into that really quickly. Anyhow, thank you for coming along on this live stream with us. I'm going to go ahead and go find some food because I am starving. You guys are amazing. We'll catch you later.